I'm sitting here at my farm in my studio office where I do my best thinking. Really, my best thinking about networking. And here's what I've realized after we build a community of almost 400 members, 25 chapters, is that most of you are doing networking completely backwards. So you're out here selling into mid-market companies, and somehow you ended up in a networking rooms with a guy selling magic crystals and someone who just launched their coaching business yesterday. You don't need another awkward coffee with someone who can't even spell B2B. You need real conversations that lead to real outcomes. You need a winning team that's as invested in your success as you are. That's Success Champion Networking, built for business owners who sell real solutions to real companies and are tired of networking in all the wrong rooms. No silly jingles, no pass a referral or else pressure, just smart, growth-minded pros who serve the same business-to-business audience as you do. So if you're ready to stop networking with people who think mid-market is a grocery store, go to successchampionnetworking.com, find a chapter near you, and register to visit. Hey, what's up, champions? I'm Donnie Bovine, CEO and founder of Success Champion Networking. And I promise in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you why 90% of networking advice is designed to keep you busy, but not profitable. Then I'm going to give you an exact framework that turns random contacts into revenue generating partnerships. And, this type of stuff pisses a lot of people off because they're used to transactional networking. So if you're stuck not making the money that you should be doing transactional bullshit that got you here, you're probably going to a lot of networking events, collecting a lot of cards, sending follow-ups, and then rinse and repeat. You're working harder but not making any more, and you've plateaued because you're playing checkers while everybody else is playing chess. So here's the truth behind this. I was a Marine. I turned bartender, broke. Literally, my wife had to cash out her 401k to bet on me, and I couldn't waste time on networking like theater, showing up at chamber events, giving my 60-second elevator pitch to people who weren't listening and hoping for someone that needs what I sell. It just wasn't working. So there's three lies that I hear a lot on a regular basis. The first lie I hear is do the rule of 100, where they're telling you do 100 reach outs every day on LinkedIn, do 100 cold calls, send 100 DMs. It's mind boggling that people think that just mass volume is going to get you anywhere. It's, you become spam and you train the marketplace to literally ignore you. You're building this kind of reputation of desperation and not one of authority. Line number two, just post content every single day, right? But post motivational quotes on LinkedIn, share generic business tips, provide value. The reality is, you're competing with, a billion other people posting the same stupid shit, and nobody knows what you actually do or why they should care. You're creating content and not actually, attracting your clientele. Line number three, go to more business events, join every networking group, show up at every breakfast meeting, hand out more business cards. The reality is, you're collecting a lot of contacts, but you're not actually building a lot of relationships. You're showing up to their event, playing by their rules, and competing with everybody else in the room for the same scraps. All three of these approaches have one thing in common: you chasing them. You're in pursuit, and pursuit mode is a race straight to the bottom. The mind shift, chasing leads chasing leads. Screw it. You guys can tell I'm on script. Fuck a script. I'm just going to go. So what most people are doing is they're chasing leads, right? They're not trying to build an ecosystem that attracts people to come to them. So, Jane Miranda literally hired me out from behind a bar. She took a bet on a young guy and said, come work for me to sell commercial printing. The crazy thing about, that whole world is I was thrust into a place where it was big boy sales, and I didn't want to do cold calls. I didn't want to do door knocking and the like. So networking had to work for me. I had to get a real ROI from it. So I had to create a way where I owned the piece of real estate in somebody's head where if, they talked about commercial printing, I was the only guy they thought of. This is back where I came up with a lot of this. You want to literally own real estate in people's minds. So when your industry is mentioned, you are literally the only person that they'll think about, they'll bring up, and refer. You know, and a lot of the ways that I started changing this up is one, I really focused on building a personal brand. You know, I wanted to attract the people that would be into the way I teach things and the way I tell things. And I wanted to surround myself with people that would be more interested in the things I taught, the things I said, the way I broke things down, and how I genuinely became somebody that people would listen to. I've done crazy things like Baby Goat Sunday, where I post a video every Sunday on LinkedIn just to break up a lot of the traditional content out there so people get to meet me. I actually run a dwarf Nigerian goat farm. We have babies on the farm, so it works really, really well. In addition to building a personal brand by teaching the things that I'm constantly learning, telling the things that I'm screwing up, and putting out information out there that helps others based off of all the things that I've broken and failed at, and then learned and reapplied and gotten better at, has helped me build that strong personal brand. But I also follow a very specific framework when it comes to doing virtual coffees, when it comes to doing networking. I will meet with almost anybody out the gate. It's getting a little bit more refined as I move on. But that first meeting I meet with anybody, I'm going to run them through a 4-tier framework. And it's just called the ranking system. And I'm going to rank them out to decide if I'm going to follow the entire PACT framework. So the thought process here is when I meet with somebody, I'm going to literally decide, is this somebody I want to hang out with again? Is this somebody who's just going to be a general acquaintance? Is this somebody who's going to be a real referral partner and going to open doors for me as I open doors for them? Or is this somebody that is influential, like a client or an influencer, celebrity I might know that I need to protect? Once I figure out what box I'm putting them into, it determines what I'm going to do next. So, what's going on, Miss Cat? So, I literally will sit across from somebody, determine what level they are in that system, and then if they are a level 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to try and do a ongoing series of conversations that I'm going to try and get them in really deep. What I find is if you don't take conversations deep after multiple conversations, you're stuck in transactional networking. So the 4-part framework is the first meeting I'm going to do with them. It's going to be P for purpose. This stands for PACT, right? So when I'm sitting across from them, I'm really trying to figure out how can I partner them up with other right people? Like what people can I introduce them to? What opportunities can I open up for them? What places can I get them to that are impactful to them to do and grow their business. So I'm asking for things like who's an ideal client for them, who's a traditional good referral source for them. I'm really thinking about how can I build their business so that it attracts that more trust I start to gain, because for somebody to give you an actual referral where they're going to refer you into their best clients, and you're going to have to establish a lot of trust. So I start out the gate trying to open as many doors for them as I possibly can. Uh, then I'm gonna, if it's makes sense, they're at tier 3, 4. I'm gonna set up a second virtual coffee before I leave the first, and that second virtual coffee, which I'm gonna do within the first 30 days, I am gonna go in there and figure out how my introductions, how my opportunities worked, and I'm going to adjust to then, uh, yo, it's pop. Then I'm going to adjust to, make sure I'm opening up the right doors for them. I'm literally going to go and, trying and give them better introductions, better opportunities, better places to network. And I really want to see if I'm doing the right things. If they followed up on the introductions I had, they were the right introductions, they're introducing me and they're bringing me value back, I'm going to schedule a third virtual coffee, and this is usually within about the 60-day range. And the third virtual coffee, I call it combined. Now I'm going to see very much how we can hunt together. Can we host a workshop together? Can we literally prospect together? Can we go to a event or a trade show together? Can we do something that allows us both to get in front of our ideal clientele? If the relationship is still going well and we're strong, we're starting to really get some traction, I'm going to schedule a fourth virtual coffee. And that fourth virtual coffee, I call it track. And this is where you're really starting to measure the ROI from the network, right? So you're looking at how successful is the overall relationship going. What's the ROI from that relationship? And by the time you get to a fourth virtual coffee with somebody, man, you're going to go deep. You're going to go extremely deep and, establish a hell of a relationship. Most people stop at one virtual coffee. Some might get to two or three, but man, I tell you, the people that are going to take, up towards of four meetings, and I've had people tell me there's no way I'm doing four meetings and investing that much time. And I can tell you that's why they're struggling with networking, is because oftentimes, people just don't take relationships deep enough to be able to make it successful, right? The math behind all this is really, really insane, because there's a mathematical success equation for your business and how you network. And for me, I'm always looking at things like, how many introductions have I give and what has that led to? How many referrals have I give and what has that led to? Is this networking activity giving me an actual ROI? And the ROI is, am I getting introductions? Am I getting referrals? Am I actually landing clientele? Or am I finding opportunities? What is this happening? What's happening and what is allowing me this to accomplish for me? So, uh, the other thing that I constantly think about is, are the rooms that I am, are people that inspire or intimidate me? Like, are the rooms pushing me further than I'm currently networking? Like, if the rooms aren't pushing you, if the rooms aren't leveling you up and you're around a lot of people that the same level or tier you are, you're going to struggle to get networking to work, because it means odds are you're networking with a bunch of broke people. You got to get in rooms that actually push you further. You got to get in rooms that are actually going to level you up, not keep you in the same place, right? And make sure it goes. So, what I want you to think about is, how are you going to adapt the networking you're currently doing? Uh, are you going to dive deeper into conversations and relationships? Are you going to build that personal brand? Are you going to, level up your networking and get rooms that are a lot more value and bring you a lot more opportunities? I can promise you that most people, they are not going to put in the energy and the time that needs to happen to make this work. So the people that do, they're the ones that are going to crush and dominate on this. So, um, you know, to kind of wrap this all up, networking has to come at a whole new level. You have to do things at a whole new level, and uh, you need to build that personal brand, use a pack follow up system, and get in bigger rooms. You do that, and it'll completely transform how you network. Reagan, I promise you, this is what it takes to be successful in networking. So if you got any value out of this, guys, please like, subscribe, comment, and share on the channel. It means everything. And if you ever need anything else, feel free to reach out. I'm going to sneak out of here. Love you, mean it. See you. Bye.